Give it a second, my voice mod's starting. For some reason, I haven't had it, set up. We're on start. Just a moment, please. Haha, a moment is all I needed. Hello, everyone. Hello, Acidic Trauma. Hello, Old Meme. How are you all doing on this fine Tuesday? Welcome once again to our daily Mirror Dungeon and ID study here on this channel. My stomach hurts again, and I can tell if it's from what I ate or because I'm worrying too much. Might be both. Always consider that. In any case, welcome, hello, welcome to the stream, whoever you are, wherever you are from, or whenever you're watching. All of these streams are recorded and saved here on the channel on a publicly available list. Today, we are going to be looking at, studying, and using the N-Corp Fanatics IDs. Some season, I think it was season 3. No, not season 3. It was launch IDs, technically. Once again, following the trend, we're using all the IDs. Eventually, you're going to get to the good stuff that I know you all crave for, like, him and Falbina and Honglu Callisto. But for today, we're going to be using the N-Corp Fanatics. As usual, I will hit you with that spiel. If you enjoy these streams, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe. Helps the algorithm be happy, helps the channel grow, and makes me very happy and warming and fuzzy on the inside. So let's get right into it. Looking at the 00 IDs first, we're gonna start with Heathcliff. Just a second. That nothing. Yep. Let's begin with Heathcliff. Heathcliff. He is, hold on, weak against blunt, strong against flash. We have 3 envy, 2 gloom, and 1 lust with a gloom defense skill. He has 61 defense level, which is about average, kind of a low speed, good HP. Let's check his first skill. Gawky Nailing, a 11 roller, with no extra power, so it's a baseline skill 1, nothing special. Pretty nice considering that it's kind of like a season 1 ID. Season 0, season 1. I hate the Index Nurse Father Isang. You and me both. I don't hate him, I kind of dislike what he's gonna do to the game's balance in the future, because there's no way they're gonna leave that unaddressed. In any case, a baseline skill 1, 60 offense level, our game baseline. This is a 00 ID, so we're not getting anything too crazy. It does inflict nails, which gives bleed count by the effect count, so it is pretty damn nice for bleeding everything. Skill 2, a 6+8, becoming a 14 roller that heals SP and inflicts the exceedingly rare plus coin drop. This is amazing. This is amazing because, as a reminder, I've said many times here on the stream, coin power is extremely strong. Is he too strong or something, Old Meme? Would you like to see? Nah, I don't have the modules, or else I'll pop like an XP excavation and show you what he can do. But yes, he is way too strong right now, and again, it saddens my dear old heart to see some of the older bosses that we grew to love and hate get absolutely moached by Yisang, Dex Father, and especially when it's a new player and they don't know what the fuck's going on. In any case, skill 2 inflicts the ever so rare plus coin drop, which is incredibly powerful as a debuff tool, but it's a skill 2, it's a single coin, it's not that powerful of a skill, so it's best used one-sided. Again, no extra power on this, it just hits the guy. Skill 3. It's a 4-4-4-4, making this a 16 roller on the very low side of skill 3s. It deals bonus damage by 10% of the damage dealt if he hits head, which he will be hitting head all the time because you know how the Mirror Dungeon usually go, and we have some very good sanity healers for this team. Any case, his defense skill has no effect, and finally we have his passive. Can it stack? Yes, it can! Yes, it can. It has no limit for how much you can apply. If you replace all of his skills 1 with skills 2, that's a lot of plus coin drop you can inflict on a boss. Again, it rolls like shit. It doesn't have good offense level, but extremely powerful debuff. It's a very good one-sided attack. His passive. When an ally is defeated, lose 10 SP and gain 1 blood power up next turn. If 4 or more surviving units in the team, including these units, are N-Corp Fanatics, he gains coin power +1. He can deal some extra power, but it's for a single turn. So, not a particularly good passive here. It's kind of like if you lose a unit, which is probably going to be him, if you're going to be entirely honest, he gets a little stronger, but he loses sanity. Nothing much to talk about here. Let's move on to the other ID, but before that, let's take a look at our Eagles here. This is a bleed team, a bleed blunt pierce team. How can the Eagles help us? And this time, I'm not going to be looking at the Eagles for the scenes we can generate, but rather for the passives that we can use. Wait, what? Doesn't that mean he can always make a +- coin enemy just always roll the lowest possible? Exactly! Exactly, my friend! He can remove true power from every coin on an enemy next turn. And if you stack enough of it, the only power that a skill the enemy will have is the base power. So yeah, it's like paralysis on steroids. It is incredibly rare and incredibly powerful. The other ID that I can remember from the top of my head that doesn't inflict, but rather gains plus coin power is Ishmael. She gains a plus coin power boost if she managed to stagger or defeat a target with her skill tree. You know she does that when she like does a little dust off my shoulder kind of animation. And now that I think about it, Gregor Wuthering Height also gains this effect. On a 50% chance, or if the enemy has 10 sinking, he gains 1+ coin boost and 3 damage up next turn. And you can just keep going. Do negative coins add power? Unfortunately not. Negative coins, they remove power. The negative skills, which you're going to be seeing them on this ID here, they function in reverse, as in they start with very high base power, but every head that you roll will decrease the power by 12. So of course you want to be on low sanity, so you always roll tails. Rolling tails, you don't get the coin power, which in this case is a negative. And so the skill remains at full power. So it really works the opposite. They start at full power, full clash, full monster, but every coin they hold roll heads, they lose power. Anyway, moving on to the Eagle here, we are a bleed, pierce, blunt team. How can the Eagles help us? This applies burn. We do not use burn except for, what's his name? Sinclair, but we're not going to be focusing on that. Gains poison at highest resonance. Holiday. When this unit has a status effect or a negative effect, and if the main target of the attacker has a positive, inflict more effect and gain 1 poison charge count with skill effects or coin effects. No. Passive. When hit, consume 1 charge count to heal 2.5 HP. I love AED for Heathcliff. It's very good. It saved the run last time. No, not last time, but it helped with the run. Asymmetrical Inertia. Inflict fragile this turn on enemies who are hit by Tremor Burst from skill, coin, or passive effect. Does not stack with Ego Gifts that inflict fragile upon triggering Tremor Burst. So it doesn't stack with the Bell. But we can certainly make use of this with Dawn. So we can slot this in. Binds. Combat start at 4 highest resonance that includes these units' skills. Apply 3 offense level up and 3 defense level up to self and allies who are part of their resonance. If that said resonance was an absolute resonance, apply 2 additional offense level up and defense level. That is a crazy passive, and we are going to take it. Now, Yasunyata Tadrupam is a very good for Heathcliff, but not for this ID, I guess, because it raises max HP equal to 15% of this identity's base max HP when recovering from stagger. Then heal 15% of current max HP if this unit has less than 30% of its current HP. Heal 25% of current HP, max HP instead. 3 times per encounter, either encounter 8, revert to back base max HP. In other words, less convoluted words, activate the passive from this Eagle, get staggered, you gain more max health. Yasunyata Tadrupam. I'm probably mispronouncing it as well because it is... I don't know what language it is. I want to call it Sanskrit, but I don't think it's Sanskrit. I know for a fact when you have these lines on top of letters, they are pronounced twice. So Yasunyata Tadrupam. It's good, but we're not going to use it here. And finally, we have Charge. So Charge not good. Anyway, next ID, Rodion. We like Rodion in this house. So Rodion is weak to blunt, but strong against slash. She possesses Tree Pride, True Lust, 1 Wrath with a Wrath counter. Her passive, which I'll be looking at first. After an enemy is defeated, gain 1 haste and 1 damage up next turn. If this unit defeated an enemy, she also gains Fanatics. So this is a excellent, very good passive, because that's just extra damage on a kill, and killing is something we're going to be doing all the time. And I don't think there is a limit for this, so you can gain a lot of that damage up just by, you know, just by doing the things you're supposed to be doing. And if she gets the kill, she gains 1 Fanatic, which is Final Power against units with nails. And we're going to be applying nails anyway, so no problemo. Skill 1, a 11 roller, a baseline skill 1, inflicts bleed, and if the target has nails, inflicts more nails. Unfortunately, this skill does not inflict nails itself, so it more likely a support for her skill 2, 3, and other IDs. I'm confused about the coin drop. It would benefit negative coin IDs, right? No, because it only affects plus coins. It's right here. Plus coin drop. If the enemy has a negative coin, this does not affect him in the slightest. The only enemy that I recall from the top of my head that has a negative coin boost is the middle. The middle has guys that will use negative skills, but they can lower the power, the negative power of the coin. So even if they roll heads, they still roll pretty high. Think of it like this. Coin power is, you know, extra coin, extra power on your skill. If you increase that, every time you roll a coin, you get more power, you get more stronger. But the negative coin is the opposite. Every time you roll heads, the coin will nerf your skill. If you reduce the power of the negative coin, even if you roll heads, it's going to nerf your skill less. So, pretty simple. It's just the reverse. One skill rolls and escalates in power, while the other starts at full power and then decreases. It's literally like that. In any case, continuing on to Rodion. Skill 1 is a very good, you know, for supporting IDs. Skill 2, Zealous Purge, a 10 roller that is extremely weak for skill 2. We gain Fanatic next turn, which is more power, so this can become a skill, what, 11 roller. Inflicts nails and inflicts the ever so useful Paralyze next turn, which is very nice. If you're not sure what Paralyze is, it fixes the power of coins to 0 for 1 turn, with 1 coin per the effect's count. So for every Paralyze the enemy has, 1 of his coins is going to turn into 0. And if you have been keeping up with the conversation about the coins, you got them right. Paralysis make negative coin IDs roll their absolute maximum every time. In any case, moving on. Skill 3, Ironclad Retribution. Let's see, 12 roller, incredibly low for a skill 3, but then again, this is the 00 ID. If this unit is Fanatic, she deals more damage, deals 5% of the damage for each N-Corp Fanatic present in the party, and it inflicts 2 bleed. And finally, her defense is a counter that inflicts nails. Pretty good, pretty nice. It's a 00 ID, so it's not that powerful, but this team really benefits from having everyone being on the same team. They're like similar to Kurokumo and other IDs that really we're our team strong together. Let's get her some egos that can benefit our team. Sanguine Desire goes without saying, we are a bleed team after all. Pursuance provides healing, and whenever an enemy is staggered, it heals one of our allies. So we're gonna take that. It's incredibly good. Her Theft. With a Pierce skill, inflict 1 bind. This could be used. We do have Pierce skills on her, right? It's, yeah, I have 1 Pierce skill and her counter is a Pierce. I'm gonna make some candy because I have a headache. All right, enjoy your piece of candy. Let's see, what else? Yeah, those are the gifts we're gonna be using. It's burn, and this one, does this apply extra nails? Inflicts Curse. If you look in Bleeder, Nick Bleeding is enemy base attack skills. If you look on the defense level down, attack has Bleeder, Nick Bleeding, pleasure to bleed. The allies included in take direct HP from the enemy. Inflict 1 course. This one is actually better. No, but Pursuance is our healing. So we're gonna have Faust as well. So we could take that and make her more offensive. So we're gonna take Hexnail. Moving on to Dawn. Write that down here. Dawn. She is, much like the other two, weak against blunt, but strong against slash. She possesses 3 lust, 2 gluttony, 1 wrath. Glut and 1 wrath, as well as a lust defense. Her passive is Thou Shalt Hammer. If the target has nails, she inflicts more tremor. If the unit is fanatic, she inflicts more nails. 3 lust owned, pretty simple, just extra ailments and extra damage. Is it more difficult to have a way of constantly healing in team battles? Well, aside from eagles that heal immediately, there are support passives you can take, and there are eagle passives you can take. As well, if you're in the mirror dungeon, eagle gifts that allow you to heal. Usually, the more consistent form of healing is Gregor IDs. Anyway, skill 1, a 11 roller, Rightful Purge. Inflicts nail, inflicts tremor. Nothing crazy, no conditional, nothing to increase the power here. She only has 61 offense level, 61 defense level. Skill 2, a 16 roller, which is kind of baseline for a skill 2. It does Tremor Burst and deals 30% damage to targets with 5+ nail. Now that's pretty good damage buff, but again, 00 ID isn't gonna do much. Aha! Courageous Bond. Go away. Let me write that name down for another bot on Twitch tried to sell me viewers. So, Courageous Bond. You will become an NPC that will be killed in my tabletop campaign, which, by the way, we might be playing soon on the Thursday or Friday. Anyway, moving on, we have lots of ID to talk today. Skill 3, Fanatical Judgment. A 5-3-3-3-3, making this a 14 roller. Still on the extremely weak side of skill trees. Like, there's no extra coin power or power here. This is a very sad skill tree. It inflicts nails, it inflicts tremor. If the target has nail, it inflicts attack power down, a nice debuff. And if the target has nails, it also inflicts paralysis, another extremely powerful debuff. So, as per usual, the double IDs fall onto the support role. They are not good clashers. Anyway, her defense is a 10+5, nothing interesting here. Ego time, let's get it done. We are a bleed pierce team, so of course Yerni Maikala is going to be on the field. Fluid Sac is kind of shit. Nope. Lifetime Steal. I'm looking at the passives here, right? Nope. Wishing Cairn, getting spoils, defeating enemy that has bleed. Red Sheet is abilities in skill target has either 15 rupture or it is in the heart. No, not good. Might not need the healing for the Prudence Ego. If you ever feel like you need to do more damage or whatever, it can be used to remember assist the mirror dungeon. Around 4 ego gifts that heal, yeah. Probably with healing, to my knowledge, you usually do so I could be wrong. No, there are a shit ton of healing egos that you can get, so it's really not a problem. This is for charge. We are going to be taking Fluid Sac, and as our path, we're going to be taking Wishing Cairn. Moving on. Let's touch on to Encorp Grobhema. Merceau. Now, let's begin. Merceau is, much like our boys, weak against blunt, but this time he's strong against pierce. An oddity, for sure. He possesses 3 sloth, 2 wrath, 1 pride, and a pride wrath counter. He's passive, Obsessive Hammer. At 4 wrath resonance when below 50% HP. He remove 1 negative status effect and gain 1 fanatic, 1 attack power up, and 3 protection at the start of the combat phase, which is incredibly powerful. Now, the only problem is getting him to 50% HP, which shouldn't be a problem. He possesses 65 defense level, so he's quite tanky. Skill 1, Drive. It's a 7 roller, that is pathetic. At less than 50% HP, he gains coin power, however, turning this into a proper 11 roller, still pathetic. On hit, it lowered the user's stagger threshold by 6% of the damage twice. That means it becomes harder for him to be staggered by using this attack. And he gained aggro. Aggro we can only use on focused encounters. Skill 2, You are cleansed of sin. He 6 plus 6, that's a 12 roller. It's on the lowest side of skill 2s. He gains aggro, inflicts nail, inflicts bind, and if the target has plus 5 nails, he inflicts bind and attack power down. Incredibly powerful support too, but a horrible clashing attack. It's almost as if he's meant to lose clashes all the time and get hit to lower his health. Skill 3, Annihilate Heretics. It is a 14 roller, which is pathetic for a skill 3, nowadays at least. It inflicts nails, it gains aggro, and he heals by 50% of damage dealt, and for each 3% for each target's nails. So it's mostly a way to keep him alive. And now we get his counter, which I am quite aware of it. His counter is a negative coin at 15, -5. So if he's losing clashes, he can just use this to hit a 15. He gains 1 protection, and at less than 50% HP, he gains Final Power plus 2. Final Power plus 2, turning this into a 17 roller, or a 12 if he rolls heads. It possesses an incredibly high offense level compared to all of his other skills. So this seems to be his main source of dealing damage. So as I see here, use his protection until he loses HP and then hit someone with it. And yes, he gains protection on combat start per use of this ability. Unfortunately, you can only stack up to 10, and each stack of protection gives 10% damage reduction. In any case, he is supposed to be a meat tank. Let's give him some egos. Of course, being a meat tank, we are going to be taking Screw Loose Wallop with no question. We are going to take Pursuance for the healing, and finally, but certainly not least, we are going to be taking Yerni Mirkala, for it is a healing on bleed, and we do have a lot of bleed. Now, on to Faust. Faust, the one who grips. Cromer Faust, or Kraust, as I heard some people call it, is, unlike the others, weak to slash, but strong against blunt. She possesses 3 envy, 2 lust, and 1 pride, with a lust evade. Her passive is Whistles. At a 4 lust resonance, at the start of the combat phase, she heals 2 allies with the least SP for 15 SP. And if the ally is an N-Corp Fanatic, it also applies to Fanatic, which once again increases final power against enemies with nails. And so, I tell you, this is an incredibly powerful combat passive. 15 sanity heal is no joke, and True Fanatic, which is final power, it is incredibly powerful. There are better passives out there, yes, but this one is pretty damn good. It's again, this thing relies on each supporting each other, since most of their attacks use either pop from the target having nails or they're being fanatics, and they work pretty well with each other. Of course, they're the same faction. Skill 1, Cackle. On Clash Win, this is one of the rare attacks in Limbus that actually drain the character's SP. That is pretty damn good. It is an 11 roller, which is our baseline for skill 1s, as we have seen already many times. It has a 64 offense level, a 1 offense level less than Merso's counter, mind you. It inflicts nail and inflicts bleed. Pretty good, pretty nice. Skill 2, the Gripping, a 16 roller, which is, I think, is the baseline for skill 2s. It inflicts 5 nails and inflicts 1 paralyze next turn, and her unique effect, Gaze. Gaze, however, is kind of shit. It's a 20% damage bust from Pierce and Blunt for 1 turn, and the ally that defeats the unit heals 10 SP. And if the ally is an N-Corp Fanatic, it also applies 1 Fanatic next turn. And my friend still uses this ID, Kanto9. Well, Her rolls are baseline, but unlike newer IDs, she so far has no way to fortify her attacks outside of gaining stacks of Fanatic. Now, once again, remembering, Fanatic is a unique status effect for N-Corp Fanatics, and each stack of Fanatic gives us +1 final power to your skill if the enemy has Nagel. So it's pretty nice. Don't diss on it. It's a little indirect way of gaining power. We're going to be seeing that plenty in our Mirror Dungeon. Skill tree Execution. It is a 12 roller, which is incredibly low. Once again, it's a launch ID, season 0. 12 on a skill tree is kind of incredibly low, but this attack is meant to be used against a stagger target or something you can win because it's paralyzed. And remember, we shit out paralyzed with this team. On kill, it heals all allies for 10 SP and apply 1 pierce damage up and 1 blunt damage up to go together with your Fanatics. So if she managed to kill someone with that, that's a free SP heal for everyone and a pierce damage and blunt damage up for everyone. If the target has 5 nails, it deals 70% more damage. It's not too crazy, but considering all the other buffs that she might have until she hits someone with that. So we're going to be saving this attack to clash to kill something, rather than, clash the big attack with it. Finally, we have our evade. It's a 14 evade with a base power of 4 that removes the speed from the target. And again, another incredibly rare thing. Very good, that's Kraust. Now, let's give her some egos that can benefit our team. We can take this one because we have plenty of lust on this thing. What else? We could take Toracalgia to give everyone poise. Let's see what else. Fluid Sac is always good because it's healing and gives true protection to ally with the least HP, so we're gonna take it unless I want to take Hex Nail. The 30% of the attack on this unit, not good. Everlasting is the only wall she have, and it's only good for Tremor Burst if she is Tremor Bursting. Telepole is for charge. Command Meltdown, I have no idea what it does. To start, heal self from 1 level, the lowest HP percentage by the hardened shell barrier stack percentage of this unit's max HP. Heal the lowest HP. Let's see the skill. Alright, it's healing. It's basically that, healing. That's it. And on to the star of the show, the boy that will have no ego because I don't want him nuking my team. The one who shall grip Sinclair. Sinclair is weak to slash, much like Faust, but resistant against blunt. He possesses 3 gloom, 2 lust, and 1 wrath, with a pride block. His passive is the Mad Flame. Heal 50% less SP from winning a clash or defeating an enemy. If 5 or more surviving units, including this unit, are N-Corp Fanatics, they deal 10% more damage. Now, I do not need even to say how powerful this is. It is incredibly easy to trigger. It's 2 owned Wrath, and that just gives 10% more damage to every unit on the field. We start with extra 10% damage, that's it. Now, skill 1, it is a 8 roller, and then it goes to 6, and then to 4. It loses 7 SP, which we need. If he hits tails, he gains Fanatic on the second hit, and it inflicts 3 burn. Once again, Fanatic is more final power. Skill 2, a Moral Enactment. It's a 16 roller or baseline for skill 2s, so his skill 1 is quite low, his skill 2 is baseline skill 2. If he has Fanatic, he's deal more damage, he inflicts lots of burn, and on bleed on his 4th coin. This skill loses 4 power per head hit, so it goes from 16 to 12, 12 to 8, 8 to 4, and then 0. Skill 3, Self-Destructive Purge. It rolls a 30. It loses 12 power per roll, going from 30 to 28, no, to 18, and then from 18 to... it goes to 0. It goes to shit. On use, he loses SP. If this unit is Fanatic, he deals more damage. If the target is a Mechanical Amalgam, he deals 10% more damage. On the second hit, he raises stagger threshold of the target by 50% of damage dealt, like a small Tremor Burst. And on the third coin, if the target has 5 bleed, he inflicts 7 Whopping Burn. And on a kill, he gains Blunt Power Up next turn, which is quite strong. And finally, his defense is a 17, -7. He heals a little bit of SP. Won't be a problem. Now, here is a problem with this team that I will tell you right now. Obviously, Sinclair is, you know, the big boy that deals big damage here. But the problem is, since we have Faust here with plenty of ways to heal SP, sorry, my brain farted for a second there. He's gonna be so sane. But yes, we are going to give an Eagle for a specific purpose of keeping his sanity down. We're gonna be taking Impending Day, Harmony, and what is his wall? His wall is kind of it. Yeah, this is kind of shit. We're gonna just take Harmony and Impending Day. And that's it. And we're gonna be using these a lot. So Harmony is Lust, Wrath, so we can use this a lot. Harmony is Lust, Wrath, Sloth, Pride, and Envy. And we do have all of these, as luck would have it. There we have it. This concludes the ID study of all the NCorp IDs. And we're now going to build a team. His wall. Well, since we are here, might as well take a look at it, shall we? Tears of the Tarnished Blood. It's a 866. So that is a 20 roller, quite low, 60 offense level, but a whopping 5 attack weight. At 6 Flower Bearing Pin, he gains coin power +1, turning this into a 22 roller. At combat start, he gains Denial. When this unit takes damage that brings their HP down to 0, this unit's HP does not drop below 1. Recover from stagger due to damage. If the above effect activated, dies at turn end. Expires upon death, retreat, or turn end. At 6 Flower Bearing Pin, we gain that. Before the attack, he gains Flower Bearing Pin equal to Gluttony Resonance, max of 5. Now, what is Flower Bearing Pin? Flower Bearing Pin has a max stack of 20. He gains 1 stack at turn end or when he is hit. Gains 1 offense level per 5 stack. If the unit that has this effect dies, inflict gluttony damage equal to the stack and inflict 5 rupture. Expires upon death or retreat. So, at Gluttony Resonance, we gain a bunch of these pins, and every time we get hit, we also gain more pins. I don't think it doesn't seem to be expire, so it's a permanent thing we have that just gives us offense level ups at 5 stacks, giving us a total of 4. When he uses before attack, he takes the number of Flower Bearing Pins on self times 2 HP damage. It goes up to 40. Does not get staggered if this lowers this unit HP below stagger threshold. Instead, remove the stagger threshold higher than this unit's current HP. So, taking that in consideration that you can take up to 40 damage if you have all the Flower Bearing Pins, you can technically use this skill to remove your stagger threshold safely without getting staggered. Attack end. For 3 turns, he loses 10 SP at turn end. And that, I forgot about that, and that's why we're going to be taking this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. In any case, on the first coin, we inflict Rupture Count. On the second coin, we inflict 3 Rupture. If this unit has 30% or less HP, or is at 20 Flower Bearing Pin, stack reuses this coin once per skill. Reuse on hit, consume all HP on self to deal 20% damage with this coin once per turn. But because we have Denial, he doesn't die. But then he dies at the end of the turn. So, in any case, if you have 20 Flower Bearing Pins, you die. But you reuse your coin at the end, which is less than ideal because it's not really that hard hitting. It is an 866 and it becomes an 877. So it rolls again a it becomes a 22. 22 on attack weight 5, it's okay. If the enemy happens to be weak to Pierce and Gluttony, that would be a pretty good deal, I guess. Corrosion, it is indiscriminate. He gains base power +1 at 10 flower bearing pain, gains the denial, gains gluttony resonance flower bearing pain. Before attack takes the damage, does not get staggered, inflict the damage, the unit has the 20 pins or is less than 30% HP, he reuses the coin, and then he dies because he dealt more damage with the reuse. His passive. Turn end. If this unit had a negative effect or lost its HP or SP, heals 5 SP. If this unit or an ally is defeated, inflict 1 fragile to all enemies next turn. All in all, this is pretty shit. It doesn't give a lot of offense level with the flower bearing pain. The effect of not dying is immediately denied because you die if the effect uses. It is a interesting coin reuse, but the power for it is too low. But I do suppose it is an attack weight 5 skill, which you can use for a big AoE. There is the 3 turns lose SP at turn end, which is beneficial for our boy that we're trying to use here today. The rupture is negligible. And the flower bearing pin just literally just give you 4 stacks of 4 offense levels. So it is not good. It's not great, but it doesn't even have good offense level. This is the level uptide 3. Maybe it gets better on uptide 4. And indeed it does. On uptide 4, that coin power for every 6 flower bearing pin goes up to 3, turning this attack in from 20 to 22 and then to 24 and 26, which is a little better, right? Let's see, what else? Deals 1% more damage for every 2% missing HP on self, max 40, and that's about it. So he gains more damage and gains more coin power, becoming a little bit better to use. And so there we have it. That's the big Tears of the Tarnished Blood, and now we understand how it works. Anyway, we spent 42 minutes talking about these ideas, and we haven't built a team or haven't entered the mirror dungeon yet. So let's build that team, shall we? We are going to be taking first mate P-Quad here. It's a more bleed potency on hit for the ally with the most poise. We don't have poise right away, so we're going to get the poise later. Nothing else on this state here can help us, I believe, because we're, bleed team. So we could take the ring pointless for SP heal, but SP heal is something we do not need. Ryoshu with her resonance gluttony that we don't have, we can't use it, unfortunately. We should take the N-Corp Ego Ryoshu, which is at 3 lust resonance, inflicts more bleed, and inflicts more tremor. Not bad. We also could do the same with this, which is inflicts more bleed with the fastest ally. Yep. Let me just check something here. It's an enemy with attack, inflict 1 bleed once per enemy per turn. The target has bleed, inflict 1 bleed count as well. We're gonna go with Kurokumo Clan. Put the support in Corp there. There we go. Honglu has a very good bleed support ID here. When an ally with a fast speed defeats an enemy inflicted with bleed, gains 1 attack power up. So we're gonna take it. Kurokumo Clan Wakashu, he inflicts more bleed with a fast speed. And we have the Ting Tanger, that just gives us more damage. The most SP, which won't be our happy boy, unfortunately. So we're gonna take the extra bleed here. Ishmael, what can you do for us, Ishmael? You and allow the fast speed inflict 1 bleed with coin effects against enemies. Not great. We could take P-Quad Captain. No, it's Pride Resonance. We don't have that much Pride for Resonance. Or we could take the Clash power up from this. That would make the Mercil Clash harder, so we're gonna take that. Otis is Otis. We know what we're gonna take with her. So most likely G-Corp Head Manager. Or we could take Military Mindset, which is like a lot of 30% more damage for those below 0. Or ally with the most speediest to enemies below 25 HP. It's just to finish off an enemy, really. It's not that good. We could also take Barber of Elemental and for some healing on kill. Yeah, let's take the Vampire. And finally, Gregor. How Gregor will help us. Gregor, how about your Priest? How's the Priest? With the lowest HP percentage, deals 3 HP on hit. Your times return. If target hit by the set ally had bleed, you additional HP. That's pretty good. We're gonna take it. And anything else that comes to mind here? Fire. Tremor. Isn't this extra blunt damage? Then apply the following to ally with earliest dependent order among those with negative effects. Gain 4 aggro over the leftmost slot next turn. Gain 1 blunt damage up next turn. Yeah, let's take the healing. There we go. We have our team. Now, pick what first mate here is mostly as a filler. It's more bleed potency when we have poise, and we don't have poise naturally. This is more tremor and more bleed. This is more bleed. This is more clash. This is healing on kill, and this is healing on kill as well. On hit, actually. Let's deploy the happy boys, the Fanatics, the Clanker Patrol into the Mirror Dungeon. Again, 46 minutes just yapping. We are going to be taking Favor of Nebulae, but we are not going to be taking Starlight Guidance. Now, N-Corp Inquisitors do possess a very unique gift. We can't take it right away, but they do possess one that we can buy right away that makes them more powerful. Since we have extra Starlight, we shall be doing exactly that, which is this and this. It's 160 when an ally wins a clash using a skill that inflicts bleed potency, count, or unique bleed, he inflicts more nails. If said ally is an N-Corp Fanatic, he gains 1 Fanatic at third start. When an ally attacks an enemy that has bleed with a skill that inflicts bleed, potency, count, or unique bleed, deal 50% more damage against the target. If the target has 33% less HP, is at 33% or less HP, he inflicts 5% more damage against the target. So these are exclusive for the first 2 packs in the dungeon. You can't get it anywhere else, and they fortify the N-Corp units exclusively. Not exclusively, but, you know, give them pretty powerful good. And it can be fused into a unique gift. So we're going to be taking these 2 with our extra Starlight, since I haven't deployed N-Corp in a long time. And I forgot to change the loading screen. Of course I did. Right. First, we are going to go Dregs of the Manor, because I want to go there. And since they're very much Darkest Dungeon coded, I think it's fair that we go to, you know, the Manor, the Haunted Manor. Or we could kill this fool. We're gonna kill this fool. Right, deployment order, starting with Sinclair, Faust, Grubhammer, followed by Dawn, you, and you. You can change it? What do you mean you can change it? The packs? Oh, you mean the loading screen? Yes, you can change the loading screen. I'll show you how in just a moment. Let's begin. Right now, Ada is struggling. I don't want to use skill trees right away, but we shall. Some one-sided attacks can't be helped. Yes, you can change the loading screen. I will show you how in just a moment. Now, the name of the game of this thing is Lust Resonance. Lucky motherfucker. Alright, go hide in your goon cave. Let's begin. We have Lust Resonance? Yes, we do. There we go. Ah, the joys of low sanity gameplay. Now, one surefire way to get low sanity on Sinclair is doing one-sided attacks, so he doesn't win clashes. Which is exactly what we're gonna do here. It's already over for you, brother. Ah, he's gonna corrode. But he's gonna be fabulous at doing it. Very nice. Now let's see what corrosion we get today. It's Harmony. Look at that happy boy. I did that on purpose, by the way. Gotta put the twink back in its place. Anyway, that thing has so little HP. Let's do a one-sided attack. There we go. A little bit of damage was taken. 400 damage on our team from our miscalculated corrosion on his part, but we survived. We got the gifts. Let's change that loading screen. Let me show you how to change your loading screen. There we go. Let's go. First, we go to the window. Now, your loading screen is the last CG that the game has shown you. If you're going to a story, you're going to get the CG from the story. If you open up a ID uptie, you're going to get the uptie as a loading screen. Today, we're going to be looking at Faust. We enter her story. We get the stinky femcel Faust. Faster. There we go. And just like that, we got the loading screen. Back to the mirror dungeon. All right, we're a little wounded, a little better, but onward we go. It's funny how I said I wasn't going to equip Eagles on him, equipped it anyway, and immediately on the very first fight, he corrodes in his strongest ego. Right, name of the game is Lust Resonance. We don't have good Lust. We have Lust on Don Quixote and Lust on Faust for Resonance. This is very darkest dungeon. I love this. And we can get a lust from nowhere, actually. It's all Wrath. Gotta be careful with his sanity. Ah, there's that Dom laugh. Now, one thing that we should know about the N-Corp Fanatics team, they might not have the best clashing numbers, but they have a lot of damage. Lots of damage. Their one-sided attacks are incredibly dangerous. And because they get Fanatic and loads of damage up, it is incredibly powerful. So don't underestimate them. And not to mention they shit out bleed potency and debuffs. It's just a team that was designed with a different idea, a different philosophy than we know IDs nowadays. As you can clearly see,
이제 싸게 치어불고 들어가자. 고생들이었다.
interesting to see how true that is. Sure thing, we'll be seeing it. Next one.
돌아가지 못하리라.
Now, with just those two gifts we got at the beginning, we were already dealing a lot of damage to the Wayward Passenger. But then again, abnormality at the first turn isn't that strong. Go. Good true hitting for 2 damage for 1 trick once. Yep. We have to take consideration the enemy's weaknesses as well. There's that detail. I'm saying they do a lot of damage because they have a lot of ways to self-buff their damage. And since again they're a lust team, everyone has lust in their kit, except Merso. You can get Bloody Gadgets, which is like a lot of extra damage as well. Depending how my mood is and depending how long we go this, I might go further than for, 5. Depends. Never ask how Project Moon recorded that blood dripping sound effect. You know if the Blutters are weak to Pierce? I have no idea. I think they're weak to Blunt. And this is a mostly Blunt Pierce team. And not a slash on their bones. Except for... No, I think even... what's his name? Sinclair is blunt too, despite using a halberd. Keep going. Sinclair is in a bad mood right now. Now, remember, every enemy has 2 types of damage resistances. They have the physical ones, and they have the sin ones. These enemies, for example, are normal against every type of physical attack, but they are weak to lust, fatal to gloom, and weak to envy. But they are resistant against gluttony and endured against sloth. That gets, taken into consideration when you hit something. On top of offense level and defense level. There really is just a lot of moving parts in this game that we really don't see talked about a lot. Again, it's a computer game, everything's kind of automatic. Alright, Sinclair's a little bit better.
싸울 생각도 없는 놈한테 칼대는 건 재미가 없는.
불길 속으로
일인 게 하기는
Got our whistles going on for that sanity heal.
아, 놀랐네. 담배 떠차서. 근데 그러지.
How this dog doing? Sorry about the dog in the background.
별로 어려울 것도 없잖아. 옛날에 외부
How's your mood, Sinclair? How's your mood? Can you use one without killing the entire team? No, you can't. No, we shall not.
일대를 다
불길 속으로
죽음으로 참여하라. 활그로.
다 죽어라.
Purify!
놀만치 노른 것 같은 게
They're doing good.
진짜 싸게 치워불고 들어가자. 고생들이었다.
Alright, what's going on here? Oh yeah, I started working on making the Pecatolas for my tabletop. And they are going to be fun, because usually in my tabletop, I design enemies using the kit the system provide for us. The Pecatola are going to be almost one-to-one Limbus company. Ooh, look at that, we got wrist guards. And high tentility shoes, very nice. And then we replace this one with this one. Do a little fusion dance here. Here's the gift I was talking about. Wholeness. The Bible. Or the Bible. If an ally wins a clash using a skill that inflicts bleed, potency, count, or unique bleed, they inflict 2 to 3 nails. N-Corp Fanatic Identities deals 25% more damage against enemies and gain 1 Fanatic at turn start. If the said ally SP is maxed, or if at the 3 Lust Resonance was formed last turn, the said ally gains 3 damage up. N-Corp Fanatic Identities gain Final Power +2, plus Coin Power +1, minus Coin Power -1, and their attack skills inflict 1 more nails. N-Corp Fanatic Identity deals 50% more damage against Mechanical Amalgam enemies with base skills. There's like 2 of them in the game, so... In any case, Final Power +1 and Coin Power +1, so that is a lot of power-ups. And you can get that right away from the dungeon. You don't have to waste. We use 160 Starlight to get this, and it's incredibly damn powerful. Everyone starts like a fanatic. Everyone gains Dawn gains damage up in this case. All right, Sinclair, let's do this. We need a 4 less res for our whistles.
정화.
아, 놀랐네.
Now, tomorrow, I will be probably doing a achievement run. Not a... solo runs will come eventually. Who had a lust? Yeah, you have a lust. Gotta keep that sanity controlled.
이던 정월
Say goodbye, brother. Ah, it's him. Now, we need a Lust Resonance here to heal our Wonder Boy's sanity. So we shall get a 1 here. And who else had a Lust? It was Dawn. There we go. 1, 2, 2. Use your defense skill. Annihilate Heretics. Your Cleanse of Sin. And there we go. I can't whistle very well. I should learn how to whistle. It's a useful thing to learn.
죽음으로 참여하라.
침묵하라.
Annihilate him.
침묵하라.
시방 뭐 됐냐?
We got a little quip from Lei Heng telling me I'm using the wrong Sin Affinity or the wrong damage type against the enemy. His sanity is good for a round of power.
참여하게 되리라.
놈만 잡아주라겠다. 일대를 다 쓸어버려.
Effective. He's resistant to pierce. Is it gonna get true gaze? I don't think it stacks. Yeah, it only has one stack of gaze. You can't stack multi-stack gaze on it. What a shame. I mean, disappointed Lei Heng is there for a reason. Indeed. Look at that boy. He has 26 nails on him.
이단을 정화했다.
죽음으로 참여하라.
Nail that guy to the ground. Holy. Yeah, we killed him.
이제 싸게 치워불고 들어가자.
I like the end corp team. They're fun to use. If you have to like keep start wrangling Sinclair, it's a very fun team. Oh, give me the gift. Thank you. All right, we are going to be taking a rest of him and our manor-shaped house because it's a very good gift. Next, on here, emotional seduction. The team goes out for chicken kebab after killing the butlers and the owner of the manor in Wuthering Heights. Oh my, choose the ranged skull to get more pierce power. Yes. Thank you.
어려운 일은 아니었네.
This prick. We're gonna kill you, dog.
불로 정화하고
We have a full team.
깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
Full team with a unified keyword, which is bleed, including Sinclair. So we can make use of skills, ego gifts level 4. Oops. Fortunately, I started a thing where Wednesday I'm going to make an OC for different social corporation. Or if I'm not able to use my laptop. Ah, that is unfortunate. He loses 10 SP and he's on the verge of breaking, so no. 64, 61, 48. There's another one here. Here we go.
놀랐네. 담배 떼쳐서
It had to be Heathcliff that cocked it up.
그만 찾을 줄 알았으면 빨리 어디냐? 우리를 아주 박살내버렸시야. 화끈한 맛이 아주 딱이야. 그러지. 그것은 그 짝에 갖다 써야지. 별로 어려운 것도요. 당연히 거시기 해야지. 그런 것은
We get to enjoy one turn of nothing.
딱 느낌이 오잖아.
You have a chance to pay up for your mistakes, Heathcliff. Make it right. Or else someone shall make it for you. Here we go. I have to make a few other OCs for my tabletop, but I've been procrastinating that. Not directly OCs, but I need to make new enemies so my players can fight something else other than the guys I already made a few times. That's why I'm making the Pecathlers 1-to-1 from Limbus, so that they become the generic enemy. And they are going to be 1-to-1, like skills, HP, and attack values might have to be edited a little bit, but yeah. Alright, now that the creature is vulnerable, we shall rip it apart. Lust? More lust, please. We need more lust. How about an eagle? You motherfucker. My mouse is double clicking, so it does this shit all the time. How about an eagle?
좋아.
Ah, he's resistant to blunt. Low rolling skill. But see, 50 on the Sanguine Desire. Wait, 50? We almost did the achievement there. Oh wait, the achievement for 80 Clash is no longer present, I think. Just a 62.
이거는 불을 기름으로 끌라가냐. 어째? 됐다. 알아서 해라. 이단을 대지.
This is gonna be drawn with a pencil paper for the first one, which by the way, should I make an OC? Should I make an OC for first? I want to do the OF, but I don't know honestly. Yeah, the OF association, we don't have enough information about it to have it like be really meaty. What we do with this association. Yo, my sinners. I wish we had more info on the office. That's why I want the average Joe IDs, so that it can be used, the updates can be used to expand the lore of the city, rather than, you know, the story of the story of the chapter. Since the team has been nailing it so far, and they have. And Corp team is quite good because they synergize with each other pretty damn well. Moving on, moving on. Emotional seduction. And it's chickens. What did the director mean by this? Oh, it's the K-Corp guys. I used this exact team when I fought K-Corp the first time. Save our lust for the next turn. He's gonna be losing 7 SP out of this. He'll be fine. You win the clash. Ah, the true tails. She could have killed him right there and then, but she did not. This ain't the fuck ass crab. If it were the crabs, they would destroy the crabs because they deal pierce damage. Not enough for a full resonance. You that sanity boy.
옛날에 외부 강사로
15, 41. Not enough for the lost resonance. Unless we brute force it. Everybody hates the crabs. Again, the crabs are a very well designed kit. It's used against us, that's the problem. Very good, very good. Moving on, moving on. I'm surprised we didn't have a Chromer announcer so far, but I guess the idea of announcers being, you know, put in game from the boss's roster, it's kind of new. All right. Oh, by the way, this Friday I will do a special afternoon stream. If everything goes alright, I have to reinstall a certain game. Now, I assume, and I will assume correctly because it is an incredibly obscure game, called Syndicate Black Ops. Now, I will be incredibly surprised if any of you have ever heard of this game. Syndicate Black Ops. I was calling Peter SSL say that call me Captain Ishmael, the way my obsession be blind with a door full of Don Quixote eyes. I see. Oh, fuck. Project Moon getting popular was a mistake. No, the director deserves his fame and glory. In any case, Syndicate Black Ops. It is a mod for Half-Life, the original one. Made by the studios, Streamon Studios, the same the ones that made Necromunda, made Spacehawk Deathwing, made I Divine Cybermancy, and Diamond Blade. It was their first game, I think. Now, some folks over at the Streamon Studios server still play it to this day. And it's an interesting experience, to say the least. And, well, since they play it every Friday, I decided, hey, why the heck not? Why not stream it as well, right? I like Streamon Studios swag. I might as well stream it. Now, the game is quite strange and quite jank. As in, the premise is already strange enough. You know those tower defense games where there's like a horde of enemies trying to make it to the other side, and you put the towers to protect yourself and all that? Well, in Syndicate Black Ops, you are one of those units trying to get to the other side, and there's, you know, things trying to stop you. So, yeah. Alright. Let's enhance some stuff. Now, we can use Fiery Down. Fire Down is very good for our team, because we are a lustful team. We are so full of lust. Actually, all of these gifts that we have here right now can be used by us. Pierce, Charge, because we got the UPS system and the gloves. These two here are one of my favorite combos in the Mirror Dungeon, because it's just a shit ton of damage up for free, and you get Charge out of it, which you can combo with this as well, which is more power. And since we are a Lust team, we can use Fury Down to deal burn, and we have Bleed plenty as well. We got Bloody Gadget for extra damage. We are on Damage Town, brother. And here on Damage Town, things are good. Now, we can sell the Melted Spring. We don't apply sinking. The only way we apply sinking is by having someone be staggered through the Echoes of the Manor, so it's kind of shit. So let's get our thingamabobbers here upgraded. Melted Paraffin. It can stay. It can stay. Actually, no. Fuck Melted Paraffin. I want more damage. Go. Here we go. Can we do it again? No. Fuck the Patrol Flashlight as well. We are Crusaders. We are Inquisitors. We are Fanatics. We raw dog the damage that we take. Make a rotator cuff, but I honestly need water. Rotator cuff? As in, like, drawing it? Or what do you mean by rotator cuff, acidic trauma? I've been playing Warframe again lately. I'm starting to feel my age on my wrists. Oh my god, he's the boss of the emotional seduction pack. He's so alluring. Look at that chicken. Look at it. Look at that chicken. That juicy chicken. Oh my. You know what? If that thing wants to dodge, it can dodge. I don't care. Sinclair, I think it's time for you to do a few one-sided attacks because you're starting to get sane again. Yeah. The chicken bucket. Come on, quickly. Stick your nails in the chicken bucket and get some chicken. Time to drain that sanity, boy. Say goodbye to it. Oh, actually, no one's clashing that now. There you go. He's so sane, I hate it. Very good. I just have to finish him off now.
짜게 갖다 써야지.
Someone please kill that chicken. Make sure it doesn't escape. I'm hungry, hombre.
정화.
죽었나?
Bop.
놀만치 노른 것 같아.
Very nice, very nice. I also need water. I should have gotten some water. Oh well, I'll get it later. 1 and 20 minutes already. We gotta go past. We spent like more than half an hour talking because, again, 6 IDs. God save me the moment I decide to make a Heisho pack mirror dungeon, because we're gonna have to talk about all of those IDs. Of course, we're gonna take the hammer. What, you kidding me? You're playing in Corp Fanatics and we're not taking the hammer? Speaking of hammer and crabs, let's go for the crabs. Let's punish them. This time, I choose pain willingly. But with a full team, we have nothing to fear. And everything to gain.
이단에게 철의 단죄를.
느껴지지? 저것들이 아까부터 어르렁대니까.
Here we go. Here we go. We got a raft.
불길 속으로.
아, 아이, 놀랐네. 걔 오늘의 자세. 떼어내주지. 이만치 할 줄 알아. 그러지. 그것은 그 짝에 갖다 써야지. 아, 별로 어려울 것도 없잖아.
Sorry if I'm a little quiet today. There's really not much to talk about. Oh yes, we do have extra something to talk about, Project Moon related. We got the teasers for the new IDs, and guess which finger we're gonna be fighting? It's going to be the ring,
불길 속으로.
as I expected, because it would be far too much of a missed opportunity for the ring to not immediately loot Callisto's gallery now that he's dead, you know? That's something that happens in real life too. I need to buy a better chair, man. This thing is uncomfortable. Ah. Maybe I can stretch my legs under the table here and get a little bit more comfortable. There we go. That kind of works. There we go. Much better. Much better, much better, much better. Now, there isn't much to talk about the IDs after we study them. They are all pretty much automatic. And because we all apply... When I say an ID is automatic, I mean all of its conditionals are very simple to activate. And you really don't need to be paying much attention to it, since it's so easy to activate it. There you go. And so these IDs are very automatic. A full end corp team, the only thing you have to watch out for is literally just Sinclair throwing a fit, and that's it. Just watch for Sinclair throwing a fit and nuking your entire team with Eagle. And if he's about to do that, just do a Lust Absolute Resonance and you are good to go. Because Kraust will heal him, and he will stop spazzing out. Let's see. Save that Lust for later.
정화.
아, 아이, 놀랐네. 내 차서.
Oh yes, because we got the tier 4 gift for the end corp. His minus coin got nerfed, so even if he rolls all heads, it doesn't decrease the damage that much. Very good. Moving on. We got true lusts here. We shall use them. Shall use a lust actually. There we go.
정화.
Unlike the Kurokumo clan, where you're always fishing for a lust resonance, the Encorp team with Sinclair deployed, you are using your lust resonance as a tactical choice to prevent your damage nuke from going off on your own team, you know? Why do I say that? Because we have Kraust. Kraust has a passive that for Lust Resonance, she heals the SP of the unit with the lowest SP on the field. In that case, it is, you know, Sinclair. Sinclair recovers less sanity per clash one because of his passive. And so if he's too low on sanity and he's about to use true attacks because I have him double slotted, that's the moment you want to force a Lust Resonance. If you keep popping Lust Resonance over and over, Sinclair is going to get full sanity, and then he won't be able to do as much damage. Unless you pop an Ego to forcibly bring him down. But that costs Ego resources, but thankfully we do have, you know, true Egos that utilize the resources we have at hand. So let's begin here by changing Cackle to Gripping. Much as Sinclair corrode because I forgot to pay attention to his sanity during the ticket excavation. Just send him solo there if he can handle it. And then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Anyway, we have Crown of Thorns, but I'd rather upgrade my damage gifts right now. So upgrade this. Upgrade the Gauntlet. Where is it? It's already upgraded. Good. Upgrade the bleed. What the fuck up? Upgrade the bleed bonus. The bleed damage bonus. Alright. Upgrade this. Does get damage up. And that's all she wrote, unfortunately. The link takes defense level down, which is more damage for us as well, on top of everything else that is giving damage. Who is deployed at the third slot? Actually, get Grubhubber Mercil, right? Because the third one gets extra flash power with their Pierce attack. So yeah, and his attacks are Pierce. Go. 1 second.
나설 만한 곳이어야 할 겁니다.
Here we go. And first, Big Crab in the house, Knight. Big Crab about to take a one-side attack from Sinclair, so he can lose sanity even faster. Remember, you gain sanity when winning clashes, but if there's no clash, you only lose your sanity. And we don't have anyone to clash against that. I don't want that attack to go off, so we have 2 AoEs. And over here, there we go. Flag. Don't let that happen. Strange how no one's targeting Mercil, which is supposed to be the tank. I made a bracelet for the Funeral of Dead Butterflies, my second favorite abnormality. Nice! The only thing I have for Project Lumen Memorabilia is my little Bong Bong doll that I bought from someone, I don't remember now. It's quite old and dirty now, and I'm afraid throwing it on the washer will melt away the glue.
미단이 휘청거리는군.
Execute the crab. Execute the crab. Execute the crab. I didn't die. Yatta! It's crazy that a crab can use a bayonet. That's bullshit. Anyway, his sanity is pretty low, but not low enough. So we'll go ahead and lose another 10, putting you at 31, and then lose another 7. Crack that shell open. It is a crab. It needs to be cracked open. Do that one. Someone, please, flash against this. So present for many different sinners. I'll plan making rotator cups for every sinner eventually. Nice. Arts and crafts are fun. I should do more of that, but I kind of been swamped with stuff between learning Japanese, working, going back to the gym, which by the way, I went back to the gym today. I feel very nice. I did drop a bit of weight on the plates, unfortunately, but that's what you get for, you know, not going for a while in the gym. Grab smash! Alright, now our sanity is on danger levels. If we lose 10 SP, we will be at... Yeah, we can do it. gonna heal the SP now. There we go. Someone smash that crab. Smash that crab. There we go. All according to plan. Oh, according to Keikaku. Translator note. Keikaku means plan.
놀만치 노른 것 같은 게 이제 싸게 치워불고 들어.
It's crazy that actually, now I guess my Japanese classes are working because I just said this joke about Keikaku means plan, and I realized I can write that down in hiragana if I wanted because I'm learning the hiragana slowly. I like it. I like it. Not gonna lie, I like it. Why not lose the enemy sanity when we hit them? Why not? After all... Ooh... We could hunt the vampires. Nah. We could hunt Santa! Yeah, let's hunt Santa! We deal pierce damage, blunt, and wrap. This pack is made. The Inquisition is here to deal with Santa, and they are non-human. And, well, I don't think N-Corp, particularly the Fanatics, they kind of dislike prosthetic users. I think they will be pretty chummy with the guys that also don't like non-humans, which are these creatures, which don't have any tags on it, because we're not sure if that happened really, or if Don Quixote was passing out on the floor again. Stab! Bash! And crush! I hope that one of the AD can untie 5 and create a boss with the old areas. I hope too, I know. I talked about this on the stream a few times now. They really need to give some love to the older IDs because they are rotting right now. Now, the explanation that we have for the IDs, and it's a bad explanation, is that as Dante, as we progress more in the story, we learn more powerful things, and such, the IDs that we get are more powerful. However, that leaves the old IDs on the dirt. Now, they said they didn't want to do up type 5. I don't know if that's only for IDs, but they did mention they are not keen on doing up type 5, but they're doing for Eagles now. But the way they're doing for Eagles is that they are gonna relieve the up type 5 for Eagles that need it. So it's not gonna be like suddenly everything needs to be up type 5. Suddenly everything is up type 5 now. So that would be a welcome addition if they do it like that. Like, take some IDs in batches, and like, these IDs are now up type 5. We have upgraded their graphics a little bit, and we have upgraded their kit. I would wish if it was like Battlecast, which I've mentioned a few times now, where you have, not only you have to up tie it to 5, you also have to beat a special stage with it, so that you prove that you know how to use the ID. It would be fun. A little side quest in the mirror words of each ID. Like if we went on a mirror word for N-Corp and had to do like a special quest. Made myself a root beer float. I actually never have root beer in my life. I could never found it here in Brazil. Alright, we're doing so good so far. How is our Wonder Boy sanity? It's good. They say, as the memory gone, am I growing numb? Have I become invisible? Ooh, I listen to that song a lot lately. It's a good song. Purge! That! Gnome! The Gnome Crusher. It's kind of strange to think about how all the cultures in the world, even though they have not been in touch with each other since forever, during the Middle Ages and the prehistory, every single one of them have tales for little whimsical creatures that live in the forest with varying degrees of not hijinks, varying degrees of whimsy. Some are straight up demonic, and some are just, funny little guys that leave you candy or something like that. But every single culture has like a story of a little guy that frolicked in the forest, and these cultures never had contact with each other for who knows how many years? Maybe there's a gnome in your house right now, you don't know it. You ever notice how things disappear and you never seem to find them? Even though they were like right on top of your table just a moment ago? That's a gnome, baby. Goodbye, little gnome. You explode into gore. Yes, hit Merso. Resonance. Okay. We only have one RAF resonance activator, so lose 10, he will be at 36, lose 7, he will be at the edge of insanity. I don't want him to be the edge of insanity, but I want him to be real close to it. Executed with impunity. This is pretty relaxing, you know? Since I don't have to worry about, since again, the running solo teams, a lot of people do it, I don't really enjoy it that much, because usually you have to restart a run when you meet a boss that you can't solo, unless I'm willing to give up like the solo run status by bringing reinforcements to deal with one fight. I'm a bit of autistic about this kind of things. If I'm running a solo team, it has to be solo all the way through. All the way through. Not stopping like, okay, this fight, I can't beat it. Let's bring some guys to help, and then I deal with the boss myself. I don't like it. I don't like when that happens. I feel really bad. The challenge was supposed to be solo. And a lot of people do solos because there isn't really that much to do in Limbus Company right now if you already beat the story like me. And we wait patiently for the event to come and all that. But when we have a full team like this, like 5 or more sinners, it's really relaxing because you can just, you know, observe shit unfold, and I don't have to worry about like, will this clash be the end of my solo run or not? There is some excitement to be taken from like paying good attention to the battle and making sure every clash is in your favor and all that good stuff. But sometimes you just need, you know, to relax a little bit and watch some gnomes die. Granted, yesterday we did have a semi-full team. What was yesterday anyway? I keep forgetting. Let me see here. Yesterday was ArcCorp, right? I was barely functional yesterday. I might try a solo or an achievement tomorrow. I am not sure. Oh no, wait. Yesterday was She Association. When did we do ArcCorp? Seriously, when we did ArcCorp? Today's Tuesday, right? Did I do ArcCorp on Sunday? I think I did. Sunday was also the day I did the extra long stream, right? ArcCorp was 2 days ago. Yeah, my memory's failing. I'm getting old. It's the gnomes. The gnomes are stealing my memories. Right. So the gnomes are trying to steal my memories. Tomorrow I have here on my... if you guys have some suggestions for teams, go ahead. I'm looking at my stuff here. There's Lobotomy Corporation run, Gambler Honglu solo, Capo Salt solo or duel with Sinclair. She Association already did. Fire Fist solo, I guess kind of pointless. I already did Fire Fist. There's Lobcorp Magic Bullet solo as well. Mostly solo stuff that is going to artificially inflate the number of daily MDs I can do, really. But I want to get through all my IDs first before we can do like solo. So I'm gonna check what IDs I haven't used yet, what team archetypes, and then work on them. Like we didn't do Heishos yet, and God save my soul when we use Heishos because there is a lot of them, and not all of them are going to be fielded. So maybe the Heishos will have to be split into like several teams. Like I can do one day Lord Lu and the Cock branch. One day I can do Lord Lu and the Mao branch.
옛날에 외부 강사로 뛰던
And the other day I can do Lord Lu and or Shishun and the horse. Horse Yiseng, Uma horse. Uma Musume Yiseng. And that might actually be a thing. Hold on. I do know that Uma Musume Yiseng has a fun thing with Shishun.
죽었나?
Sang, Lord Lu and the Cox. Lord Lu and the Mouse. Lord Lu and the rest. So we have 3 Mouse, 2 Cox. We have the horse. We have the ram. Am I missing anyone from the... We have the snakes, yeah. Lord Lu and the snakes. The snakes. There we go. That's 5 days of pure Heisho we can do. We can do Shishun and Yisang, because they have special interactions. We can do Lord Lu and the Cox. We can do Lord Lu and the Mouse, and Lord Lu, the bunnies, Lord Lu and the snakes, and Lord Lu and the horse and the ram. So that's plenty of fuel. We're gonna kill you, dog. We're gonna kill you, dog. I guess I will do Capomerso tomorrow before we get on the Heisho mines. Capomerso plus Sinclair Soldato. There we go. That's gonna be tomorrow. Guaranteed.
대가리에 총 맞았냐? 왜 느자구 없이 쪼개고 있을까?
We gotta learn how to use Capo Salt. We gotta learn how to use Sinclair, which is kind of weak. Let's see. Yep. Let's nerf this guy. Alright, that puts my stream schedule in order. Oh, sorry. Ah, no! Yay, Capomerso, my favorite in Limbus coming outside of fucking Magic Bullet Otis. Magic Bullet Otis, her time will come. Don't worry about it. I wish I could tell more about the Anticorp IDs here, other than what I already did. They do a lot of damage. They inflict a shit ton of bleed. They regurgitate debuffs out of their ass constantly. They just don't have good row numbers because 3 of their IDs are double zeros and one of them is a tank. All of their triple zeros is a tank. The only true notable like high rollers, big damage boys are, you know, the Kid and the Sinclair and Kraust. And Kraust again is more of a support again. They're all about giving support to each other to make them a little less bad and giving support to our little Sinclair Wonder Boy. Why does he say have like 3 or 4 CKDs? Base, Edex, all of it, Spice Bitch. Because he's a depressive emo boy. And he really hates farmers. Now, I hadn't had the pleasure or the time to read real-life Yisang's poems, but I have seen some shitposts about Yisang's poems, and they are quite funny. One of them where he really professes his hatred for farmers because the farmers fucked his wife. And I'm not making this up, by the way. I don't know if that's the real Yisang or one of his poems. I haven't gone to confirm, but I know the story goes as thus. The guy is poor. The guy is failing to make money for the family. Let me try to remember everything. This is what part of ways where Yisang character Limbus was based as well. So I think he had a job, but now he no longer has it. It's like like medieval times, he had a job, he wrote stuff, but now he can't. He's not making any more money. Family is struggling, right? His wife begins to sedate him, you know, give him drugs, so he doesn't see what she does. And one day he doesn't. I think he doesn't take the drugs, or he notices what is happening, and he realized that his wife is pouring herself out for money with farmers, and then he doesn't do anything about it. In fact, in one of his poems, and this is word by word, mind you, I always believe there is not reminiscence. What was the word? Resticios. 1 second. Not that. Fuck. Not. I forgot. There we go. Remember. In his poem, this story, the character says, "I always believed there were traces of a whore in every woman." That is his words, not mine. This is the quote, lifted from the poem. If you want, I go look for it and we can read it together. It would be wholesome YouTube fun time, because of course it is. In any case, he really fucking hates farmers. And what do you know? We fight a farmer at the end of his canto. Also, the comparative to like his wife in the poem story, drugging him to keep him like, you know, without realizing what's going on, is the same what Gubo did to him when he went to N-Corp. He kept him, you know, take the pills and do your work, boy. So yeah, wholesome, fun story. This is garbage. Phone is doing noises, sorry. I'm gonna go find the exact quote so I am not misremembering it, or just led astray by a shit post.
정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
느껴지지? 저것들이 어떠면 든든대니까 딱 사냥하기 좋은 상태야. 그지?
I'm trying to find it here. And he also made some strange poems all in all. Where is it? I think it was Crow Eye's View. Or was it the wings? Hold on. Let me kill these things first before I progress here. Kill him. There we go. The main character, I, and his fiancée live in a brothel, sharing a room separated by a partition. The front part of the room belongs to the wife, and the back part where I lives has no sunlight. However, I voices no complaints, content with the darkness where he is allowed loud endlessly. He lives off minimal food that his wife gives him, and sees no point in being social or independent, as he finds everything bothersome. Included a white toilet paper with making glass. There we go. I don't know these coins. I finds out that the money his wife spends was given to her by her guests. He pondered for several days on why his wife's guests gave her money and why his wife gave him money. He concludes that the reason must be that monetary exchange brings pleasure. His wife when he returns home, he sees his wife with a stranger, but heads right into his room to sleep, castigated from the outside world. But then returns to her room without a word, feeling simple level for going inside. He goes to his wife's room to give her money for his pocket for falling asleep. When he finds himself and his wife having left in her room for the first time, he understands the joy of using money, so again he heads out and returns after midnight, after his guests usually leave, and gives money to his wife, who lets him sleep in her room. Yeah. My brother is asking for tips on Library of Ruina. I just pressed win rate by accident, and I didn't check his sanity. I hope he doesn't explode. Anyway, tips. Always keep in mind when you're building deck to always have 3 light generating cards and 2 draw cards. There we go, found it. I spent around a month in a sleepy haze. One day he discovered a bottle of Adeline in his wife's room, and he realized her deception. In shock, he leaves home with the bottle and climbs on a hill before eating 6 Adelines at once. When I wake up one day, at night, he thinks about his wife's reason for feeding him Adeline, wondering if she wanted to kill him. Then it occurs to him that perhaps the Adelines were for her own use, and what he had taken was really aspirin. Feeling immensely sorry for doubting his wife, he returns home. However, he opens the door to see something he should not have. His wife rushes out of the room with ruffled clothes and clutches him by the collar. Her guest comes out of the room and carries her back. I feel resentment towards his wife, who is submissively carried away, as she accuses him of making love to other women and stealing things. Unable to retaliate, I puts down his money at the door and leaves. So he really fucking hates farmers.
불길 속으로.
It goes on, it just keeps going on, and later it just says how much he hates farmers. Alright, we have... he's good for sanity, he can go. I'm gonna hit win rate on this one. So yeah, he's saying he's an innocent little boy here in our library, a precious little guy that everybody loves after his canto, but his source material, much like the other sinners as well, is being adapted, not one-to-one, you know, reflected. Where his wife was, you know, prostituting herself for money because he couldn't provide properly for the family and was just content of living in darkness forever. His wife was just Gubo, you know? And Gubo was drugging him to keep him like, you don't need to worry, kitten, about what's going on. Just work on the mirror, kitten, and take your pills. Put it over here. There we go. Alright, keeping on, moving on. We don't need to heal sanity, so we don't need a for less resonance. If Damien still haven't fucking read it, or we eventually though. Depending on the version you got, you are gonna get a very homoerotic story. I am not joking. Demian is a strange little story where the thematic is the character growing, becoming an adult and all that, and feeling like he's stuck between the world of, you know, the unknown of life and the familiar one at home, as well as being stuck in like between the two worlds, between being an adult and being a kid. And then comes Demian and start talking some shit about like the new god and the demiurge to him, and then he falls in love with Demian's mother. Specifically because Demian's mother resembles Demian. So Sinclair is a certified MILF hunter.
놀만치 노른 것 같은 게 이제 싸게 치워불고 들어가자. 고생들이었다.
We keep reading about the wings 1 second. Hold on. Alright, Grimmy Iron Stake immediately, and we take Nebulizer as well. I don't care if you're taking Brutality. We have more than enough to offset Brutality. Select the final team pack. Sure, we go Poised Breathing. Let's go up here where the enemies are weak to pierce, and it's probably going to be Pequot town people, which is bad. Yep, called it. It is these bastards once again. And since we gave them plus coin power, which was a mistake, and they have a shit ton of coins, well, it's going to be a difficult fight, but the N-Corp Inquisition will do just fine. Now, one thing that I want you all to see here and understand that unless you are running some sort of challenge or solo run, mirror dungeons are rather automatic. If you bring a full team, unless you really screw up choosing your mounting trials or your team is really underleveled, you're gonna clear it. And just as a reminder, every single one of these dungeons that I do is the hard mirror dungeon. I never play on normal because why bother? Normal kind of sucks. No, we don't need to heal Sinclair's health sanity right now. We just need him to obliterate someone. Ooh, the 25 evade! Nice.
그것은 그 짝에 갖다 써야지. 별로 어려울 거
Yep,
없잖아.
yep, 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 yep. Yeah, deploy, heal. Ooh.
완마. 제대로 한 방 물어보시.
2, 3,
내가 직접
4.
든든하니 멋대야.
I want to stop sometime to read Moby Dick, but I'm kind of low on time lately. In between, you know, working out, streaming, and preparing stuff for the tabletop, and studying Japanese, I really don't have the luxury of time that much. No, honestly, I should be doing more. And if things continue to deteriorate, I might have to increase my work hours as well, which will leave even less time to do things. Google, we need to say we are just the the corporation itself, or we are finished. I see. Oh no, Sinclair fucking died!
원래 말이야.
Sinclair fucking died! I didn't notice. Well, it's Pequot Town, and for some reason Pequot Town is still one of the strongest fights in this game. But you know what we can do? We can say them politely but firmly say no to them by doing an AoE attack. Twice! You know what? Call it thrice. The twink indeed got obliterated. Oh right, I should have used that corroded. Whoops. Do your thing, Don Quixote. There you go, that takes care of them. I forgot I could ease eagles as much as I want, because this thing regenerates sanity like crazy. See what I mean? Now, something that is particularly powerful about negative coin IDs is the fact that the more clashes they lose, the stronger their clash gets. Because you're removing a coin and they already roll a max power every time. How is this guy evading this? There we go.
한 대 패야도 되지? 뭐 말 안 해도
들어주겠네.
I don't think you're gonna get to use his ego here, but whatever. If you kill someone with that, he heals. Once again, N-Corp team, mostly automatic. Horrible clash numbers, but big damage. They were a different philosophy, design philosophy. Again, I do believe that the Kim Jong-un is not responsible for the design kit of every single, every single ID. And so we get different levels of broken every now and then. Guys, now for the question, which one of the two ring IDs do you think will be a negative coin ID? I don't think they're going to be negative coin IDs, brother. I don't see a reason why they would be negative. The ring doesn't strike me as a negative one. If anything, it would probably be a faction that has like bonuses on being high sanity. All right, you boys, you're weak to blunt. We shall be using Harmony Corroded. Oh, cell phone doing the noises. I mean, until they review the kits, it's still up to discussion, but the ring doesn't strike me as a negative ID kind of faction. Very interesting. Very fitting for this ID too. Now, I say this thing has a different design philosophy. We only see this again on Lord Lu and Kurokumo later. Is the fact that these IDs will exist mostly to buff each other, you know? I accidentally clicked Dawn and we got her very happy. Hey, where's the eagle? There we go. People are tearing because the new ring eagle is also benefit new negative coin ring IDs. I wasn't aware of that, so that is a piece of information I did not possess. Interesting. I will have to go check that out at some point. I probably haven't checked like the new bleed eagles that we got with this dungeon because I haven't run the ring IDs, which is another daily I can do. I forgot about them. Ring IDs. Family trip with Ryoshu. Nurse father. Deck. Nurse father. Ringatom. Alright. By the way, when we get to the daily mirror dungeons where I have to use a Nurse Father, it's very likely that I am going to go further than the floor 5, because otherwise it is a waste. It's an overkill, because Nurse Father is so overpowered. And I mean specifically for... what's it called? Specifically for... the achievement, where we have to take true IDs from the House of Spiders and base Ryoshu and beat the packs from her Kanto. Ooh, 3 path here, and we are already at 2 hours. I'm not fighting you, dog. We're at the end here at 2 hours. Give me your asthma pump. Give me your phone. Mine now.
제 형태를 갖추지 못하리라.
느껴지지? 저것들이 아까부터 어르렁대는 거.
Here we go.
딱 사냥하기 좋은.
Go lose your sanity, boy.
정화.
Ah! Slash damage is our weakness. Now, our main weakness is really fierce. We're strong against Slash. It's something that is really weird because it's ego gift fuckery, you know? Remember how we did the Shi association because of resolution maxed out, we took no damage, but these guys, they take a lot of damage? It's just funny. And these are the guys with like full plate mail.
그 불을 기름으로 끌라가냐? 어째?
Go lose your sanity, please. You're too sane. You're too nice. You need to be angrier. Where is your rage? Where is your rage?
참여하게 되리라.
Horrible clash numbers, but they make it up for damage. Having the Fanatics dealing more final power and more damage in general is very good. Because everything about the N-Corp thing hinges around the unique status effect. Fanatic. July Ringsock ID reference. It's interesting. I did read Leviathan a few times to brush up on some lore, and it's pretty interesting.
완마. 제대로 한방 무거.
Oh, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
아, 놀랐네. 담배 떠쳐서 내 뻔했잖니. 이만 찰 줄 알았으면 빨리 좀 하지 그랬냐?
No. Hold on. I wanna do a normal no attack one. Yeah, it's targeting everyone, so we can have him just use the ego here. Hold on. I want to see if he can do a multi-kill with this. Maybe you got what you want, a non-clanker Callisto Rhodia. Sort of.
아파도 참아주세요. 장담할게요. 사람만큼 훌륭한 음악을 만들어주는 건 없어요.
Explosion! But there is one left.
그 새끼 만들라고 했던 것이 이라고 저길 갈아 마시는 거였나 싶구만. 욕심.
Alright, now we have two of these, so we're gonna pop them. And here we use our lusts. There's an execution right after. Then focus fire on this guy. Now again, as I was saying about the N-Corp team here, everything hinges about Fanatics. Fanatics give you damage, gives you final power. Fanatic doesn't directly give you damage, mind you. Most skills of the N-Corp lineup have extra damage on Fanatic. Their power also comes from the fact that they just hit out paralysis and debuff, and including the extremely powerful plus coin power down from Heathcliff, despite being a 0/0 ID. We have one unit that is sort of a tank that can do a pretty strong counter, and we have one unit that is a glass sanity cannon, and another one that just, you know, recovers everyone's sanity. So this thing also makes for pretty good ego users because of all the sanity healing we get. Again, if Faust kills someone with execution, that's a free 10 sanity for everyone. If we got a 4 lust resonance, that's a free sanity for 2 guys, plus Fanatic on everybody. You can get their tier 4 gift on the very first floor if you use Starlight, and just, you know, have it ready. It's a good team. It's a very powerful team. Callisto's using cybernetics? Callisto was entirely a cyborg, my dude. Did you miss that part? Callisto was full-on clanker maxing. That is the reason why I like Callisto so much compared to the other Nurse Fathers, because I think his concept is genuinely some of the coolest shit I've seen in media ever. Like, I've seen like gore weapons before, people that make like weapons out of body parts, but I never seen someone that literally took their own body and turned that thing into a literal weapon, not like in a martial arts kind of way, like, I am going to turn my weapon into a body. They literally took their physical body, every bone, every muscle, every sinew, every bit of marrow inside the bones, every organ, I don't know every organ, and mashed that thing into a weapon that he wields. Then whatever was left was put in a cyborg body. I thought he was just using metal and no wires or anything you'd be in a computer. No, the only thing that is left of him is his brain and maybe some meat on the chest cavity. Everything else was for the sword. He is by definition, a cyborg. He's not a robot, he is a cyborg. Definition being a cyborg is someone that is partially or almost fully mechanical, except for their brain. So someone that loses an arm and puts up a prosthetic is a cyborg. Someone that chop it off, take the top off, and put it in a robot body is still a cyborg. And that's what any corp here hates. Clanker. Clanker alert. Uh-oh, clanker alert. Alright, let's do this. Hit me. I dare you. I will say this thing is not very fast. They don't have a lot of haste. Got you. You dare touch my waifu? Suffer the consequences.
내가 벌써 눈이 침침해지네. 이거는 불을 기름으로 끌라가자. 어째?
Foolishness.
됐다. 알아서 해라.
Foolishness. Right, go lose some sanity, Sinclair. While we turn him into a pincushion. Always kill Starbuck first on the Piqua Trio fight. He is the DP. We have a tank, a commander, and DPS. Kill the DPS first. You had to work for one of the 5 fingers, which one and why? I'd work for middle. Either the middle or we don't know enough about the pinky to make a informed decision on that, but I like the middle's vibe a lot. And the thumb, I don't think I would do well in the thumb, and I'm not that creative for the ring, although I do vibe with some aspect of the ring. But probably the middle. Everyone mostly chooses the middle, honestly, because we'll only be shown mostly good things about the middle, really. Well, looks like we're gonna have to beat your ass now. None of the 5 fingers is good. Remember that. They all represent power structures, hierarchical power structures, usually related to society. We have family, we have teachers, we have hierarchies, corporate hierarchies, and so on and so forth. If I recall, I talked about the fingers at some point. It was the middle represents family and familial authority. The thumb represents hierarchical authority, your superiors in the company or something like that. The index represents religious authority, middle family. Ring represents teacher authority, where your teacher, you have to obey your teacher and all that. Your superiors. The pinky might be a more personal thing, where it's teacher student, sensei and his little creature. So none of the fingers are good. but I would choose the middle out of all of that. And with the middle, there is the fact that you are going to be alienated from the rest of the population, because your family is all that matters. Only the family matters. And you are, any other interaction you have with people, either going to be by executing vengeance, and then you always have to do vengeance for things that you don't really understand or care. And every act you have to do with someone has to be replied with maximum violence and adherence to, like, my vengeance. I can't just be chill with someone, you know? I have to always be pumping that gas, pumping that metal. I can't just, like, say, hey, let's be chill. No, you said something wrong, you are going to pay for it now. I'm already working for the smiling body, so... Someone said the index, but I don't know. Why could it be that eat a bug raw or other things that make you very uncomfortable? Is that even leaving it at that? Again, the index is a religious faction, essentially. So you have the will of the city, and you have to follow the will of the city. Sometimes good things happen, sometimes horrible things happen. That's just the way it goes, and, well, it's a religious one. Chances are that the most fucked up index prescripts come to people that are actively not following the prescript or something like that. But it's a dice roll, really. If you like gambling, I guess the index is a good place for you. But anyway, none of the fingers are good, and it really can't grade evils. Because, like I said, since every single one represents a power structure, say goodbye to Ahab, everyone. Since every single one of them represents a oppressive power structure of kinds, there's the good sides and the bad sides. For example, the ring is all about teacher-students, right? You have your maestros, you have your guys that make their galleries, the top guys, like a musician or a painter, and then you have the other people chasing after that guy. They're students, they're apprentices, and they have to be creative. At some point, what was I going to say? Yeah, you could have a maestro that is chill, that is like a nurturing person, that likes to teach you and likes to see you evolve, or you could get an absolute prick that hates your guts, hates everything about you. He doesn't like you. Everything you do is shit. You don't have a creative body, bone in your body. In fact, I'm gonna take the bones out of your body to make something creative. Maybe then you can be useful. So you can have the good and the bad. Same thing in the middle. You could join a middle and have a big brother or older siblings that are super chill, super cool, a very nice family. But then you could have a dysfunctional family where the brothers hate each other, the big brother is a prick, and he sends you to your death or to vengeances that don't make any sense, or are probably likely going to get you killed, and even so you don't have a good relationship. Like Matthias. Matthias was a very absent father figure for Kira, where he didn't stick around to teach her anything, just showered her with gifts and stuff in replacement for actual care that you expect him to provide, and he was a selfish asshole all the time. In any case, same for the index. You could have like a very good experience with the index where you get like super cool prescripts, and on the other hand, you could be the laughingstock of the god of the city who decided to make your life a living hell. Same thing on the thumb. You could have like a power structure corporation style hierarchy where the guy on top actually cares for his underlings, or you could have someone that if you breathe funny near him, he removes your lower jaw. And same for the pinky. You could have, if you're going by the pinky is, master-apprentice relationship, you could have a master that is very caring, thinking like Karate Kid kind of master, and then you could have Jaime from Kill Bill that fucking hates you and beats you to death, inch to your inch for your life. Anyway, we have finished today's dungeon. Let's check that damage. 40,000. It took some damage. Like I said, this team mostly exists to buff each other, to buff the enemy, have horrible clashing numbers, a strange tank ID, sanity glass cannon, and someone that can maintain our sanity up. Very good for easing egos because they regenerate their sanity real quick. Very good for gaining insane amounts of damage up, being a lust team with plenty of bleed. They pretty much apply their own bleed. They don't really need gift for bleed application, bleed count. But that is it. This is the N Corp 5-floor mirror dungeon. I don't have a Kipling modules. Oops. Now with association, would you work if given the chance? I already told you, the Chi Association. I'm a big weeb, and I would love if I could be a ninja. Like, kind of like a wide ninja, but then again, Heathcliff managed to join the Chi Association. I could too. Other than that, I'll probably either join the 7, because investigating stuff in the city sounds fun. What else? I never would join the Sync. I'm not agile enough for that shit. The Zwei sounds fun as well, but again, you're literally a rent-a-cop, so that would be interesting. What other association? The Dietzi? Not so much. I'm not that disciplined for studying, and the whole thing about erasing your memory sound sketchy as fuck. Could get a cool relic, though. The UFO, you have to take up in consideration that you're going to be dealing with contract. And, you know, sometimes those are not happy stories. Like, one day you might be, you know, catching and killing a guy that broke a contract. The other day you have to do this to a single mother of 3, where she broke the contract because of a, you know, a technicality, and the guy that you're working for is an absolute asshole that did this on purpose. Consider that. It's not just a cool outfit. There is the whole strata of things you have to do as an association member, and being the ones that have to deal with contracts all the time is, you're gonna have the good and you're gonna have the bad. Anyway, that is it for today's stream. Gonna hit you with that old spiel every time of the stream. If you enjoyed the stream, please recommend it to your friends, and if you did not, recommend it to your enemies. Now, if you really liked it, please leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Twitch, or follow on the Twitch, right? It helps a lot because the algorithm likes when you do these things, and I like it too. Now, with that said, I'll catch you all tomorrow for another daily Limbus stream. Same time, same good, same old. Bye bye, and see you later.